You could have been safe, Nickelodeon. You could have been safe from my theory. All you had to do is just change the characters that was necessarily needed to change in the Patrick Star Show. You just couldn't do it, could you? Alright, for the people who don't understand what I'm doing, and I know this is a new thing that I'm doing, but hey, someone has to put their mind out there. And I know what you're thinking. Okay, this guy has totally lost his mind. Nickelodeon has clearly said that this was before the events of SpongeBob SquarePants. And it's because we're following a young adult Patrick, and Patrick becomes an actual adult in SpongeBob SquarePants. Alright, but how does this evidence sound? That's right, people. Welcome to the doppelganger theory. Like, I know, it's just a stupid show that's throwing continuity out the window. But what a wise man once told me, the writers just don't do this out of the blue. There is a reason for everything. So there is a reason why like all the other characters change, but characters we easily know don't. And I think I already have proof of why. So according to the posters that's in Patrick's room in the Patrick Star Show, that this does take place mid-SpongeBob, during SpongeBob's modern times, yet it doesn't seem to happen, but it did? I don't know, it's confusing. But I do know, if the writers wanted to be smart with this, they should have made those posters of the younger Merry Man Barnacle Boy and not the older ones. Because in one of the first few seasons of SpongeBob, there was the first time we meet Mermaid Barnacle Boy, SpongeBob tried to bring about retirement. And they still had like posters of the younger Mermaid Barnacle Boy until they got like the new Adventures of Mermaid Barnacle Boy, which is starring the older ones. So how could Patrick have those posters? Now I know what you're thinking, but he has a time closet. What could stop him from going there? I don't know. He's stupid, I guess. How would he think of going into the future to get future Mermaid Barnacle Boy merch? And now that we're on the topic of changing things, it's a good thing to mention that the only 3 dudes so far that I see in the show that gets a free pass on the change thing is Plankton, the Flying Dutchman, and Man Ray. They're always like that. But notice how differently they react to one another in the show. Oh, I guess now that I mention it, I should have also kind of had Rube on there, since he's a paranormal creature that went from tourist to tourer. Or tourist to tour guide, I assume I should say. I don't know. It's hard to make this stuff up all on the bat. I mean, it's hard to think of a script right off the bat. Mainly, if they're trying to be like that both of Patrick's separate parents are kind of the same, then why would they go from under a rock to a giant teapot and back to a rock? That's Patrick being in a rock. I don't know, why would they just change buildings along with characters? Still stupid that they just changed the parents because they're boring, according to Nickelodeon. Jerks. Well, wouldn't you know it, on one of the Patrick Star episodes, guess who shows up? None other than Patrick's OG sister, Sam. You know, I think the whole reason they had Squidina instead of Sam is because they probably forgot about Sam. Doesn't seem like that so much. So why would they add Sam to the Patrick Star Show without saying, like, oh, she's Patrick's real sister, and like replacing him with Squidina? Because, like I said before, this ain't the real Patrick. This is a whole different starfish. And there's one scene from one of the old episodes of SpongeBob SquarePants that can prove my point. Let's look back at Chocolate with Nuts. where SpongeBob and Patrick go on a selling frenzy, telling people lies to sell chocolate. And guess who one of Patrick's customers are? And if that ain't proof enough for you, remember in Truth or Square when SpongeBob explained how he first got his house? When there he first met Squidward? Yeah, but then, and in the Patrick Star Show episode, Who's a Big Boy? SpongeBob gets his pineapple before everyone else. But apparently, in the new episode, X Marks the Spot on Mary's map, there's already a site of SpongeBob's pineapple being fully built. And it's also in a completely different area code for all I know. Which means I'm correct. There's 2 different SpongeBobs and there's 2 different Patricks.